Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and this is week 42 of our Project Christmas Cheer, and we are going to be working with our scraps. Actually, I've already worked with them. I took and glued down a bunch of the different strips and just made, scrappy pieces. And I've got this one left to cut out, and so I'm going to try and pick a shape. And I've already looked at these, and I don't really care for the circles. I think I would prefer to have a rectangle, just because then I can take, get the most mileage, most bang for my buck. So then it's deciding the rectangle. I've also got tags here that I could use. There's one. Somewhere there's another one. Oh, here's this one. So I could cut tags out of it, but I'm not sure that's how I want to go. So we'll set those off to the side. I really think I want a rectangle. So I've got my favorite dies, my decal dies out, and I've got different ones here. Now these I like a little bit better just because they have that extra stitching around. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Oh, right there. So I kind of like that one. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more on the small side. So let's try this one. These are the Stampin' Up! Ones. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, so I think I'll go with that. And go ahead and cut that out, and we'll make a card front with this. So I'll use that die for that one. Let's put this back in here so I don't get myself all confused. Lay that on top. So I won't use these other decals. And so the other things I'd worked with, this was because I was printing some stuff out. I had to print, I don't remember what I had to print, but I had to print something. And so I had a little space left over on my paper. So I just printed out a Merry Christmas sentiment that I'll put on something. But for my other scraps that I had, my scrappy strip scraps, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I thought, oh, I'll cut trees out of them. Well, then I wasn't super happy with the trees. I mean, they're okay, but they definitely need something else with them. And I do have some little deer that might look cute. But so that was one of the strip sheets that I used for that. So we'll make that into a card. And then this is just another scrappy piece that I could also cut with this or something different even. I just love the decal one, so that's probably, well, it may be too wide. It's a little bit, it's going to be close. I might be able to work with that. We'll put that there. Here's one. I just kind of layered them back and forth, and I wasn't actually going to glue that onto the card like that, but for some reason I did. And we'll put a nice sentiment on it. So it's just a scrappy card. And then here's another one. This one opens this way. So again, I'll put a nice big Merry Christmas sentiment across there. That's just a leftover card base. So I'll cut these two out, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with that one. And then I'll be right back. I'm still unsure. This I definitely, well, this was the bigger one. Gosh. Decisions. I mean, I could go with the slightly smaller one here, so they're not identical. I don't know, it just feels like I'm not taking advantage. How about if I go back to this one? I just put that away, but let's pull it back out. And let's see if it's, oh, okay. We'll do that one. So it's a little, it's also deckled, but it's got the stitching. So we'll do that one here. I think I'll start and stop on the gold there and do that one there. So I will die cut these and then I'll be right back. All right, we've got these cut out, and here's that first one. And I really like that. I think that's really nice. That's going to be really pretty. And so this is scrap, and this is what was left of my other pile of scraps. So, I mean, I've managed to use almost all those little strips that I had cut out. So there's very little waste in this project, which is one of the things I loved about it. And then here we have our secondary one, or second one, and that again is scrap. And so now we've got this one, which is really cute too. So now we're going to put these together. Let me put all this away because otherwise I don't necessarily get stuff back in the right spot. This will just take me a second here. Okay, so this was all of the scrap that I had left over, that and whatever little bit I cut off of this. So that's not bad, I don't think. And I'm somebody who hates to waste anything. So I really don't think that's bad. And if I had done a better job centering this, I probably could have used that as a frame on something, but oh well, it's not like there's a lot there, so I can live with that. So we've got those two that we need to mount on a card. And then we've got this one. And this one needs a sentiment, as does this one. So I still need to figure out what else I want to put on this card. And I don't know if I'm going to want it to go portrait or landscape. It kind of is tight to do it portrait, so probably go landscape. Maybe something like that, and maybe put some night sky paper behind that, or even the Santa. I don't know. You know, those Santas I have in my stash with the Santa and the sleigh that are going across the sky. Even that might look nice up there. But we'll come back to this one because it's going to take a little bit longer. So these are ready for sentiment. So let's get these ready for sentiment. So I think I want to put a gold border or something behind this, just because I think that'll look nice and help lift it up off of the background a little bit. So let me go to my scrap bin. I do have this, but I don't think it's, yep, not quite wide enough. This one might be a little smaller. Okay, I think we can do something with that. Possibly. So that one was that die there. Let's see. That's probably not big enough, is it? Well, that's too big. So might just have to just trim it out. And see if I can get enough of it to make a nice little border. All right, let me get my trimmer here. So I'm just going to line this up as best I can. And I just want to cut off right there at the edge of that, where that dips in the most. Okay, let's try it on this side. And I'm just looking, and you probably can't see it because there's a lot of shadows, but you know, thought I could adjust the light, but that didn't help. All right, so I can just see the edge of the cutting strike plate, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just barely trimming that off. All right, so it's not going to leave too much of an edge, but that's okay. So I'm going to want my pencil, which is here somewhere, and let's just do it like this. Come up a little bit. There we go. That's probably pretty good. Just want to go right about there. That might be a little high, but we'll see. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the center out of that because, you know, I don't like to waste. So what can I get out of there? That's pretty good. All right, we'll go to the, I wonder if I can get the slightly bigger one. Oh yeah, I can. But would it look better with this one? See, I put these away, then I get them back out. Let's try. I think that's too big. But this one, that'll work nicely. All right, let me just make sure I don't need to take any more off the top or the bottom. Nope, I think that's pretty good. So we will cut this one out and we will be right back. Alrighty, we are back. We finished them all. There's 5 cards. These are for week, what did I say? Week 42, and there are 5 completed cards, which brings our total to 307. And these are all just made out of scraps and stuff from my stash. This sentiment was in my stash. I did have to cut some new greenery for the background, which it's not all green, I know, but I couldn't find mine. I don't know what I did with it, but I just used scraps for that. So I've got a pearlized white and a pearl green, and I think they're really pretty. And then these gold dots were the negative space on one of my previous die cuts, and I just hung on to them because I thought those are gonna be pretty on something. So they've been getting blown and shoved around my desk for weeks now, but finally I found a use for them. So they just kind of help break up this strippy background a little bit. So there's one, and I like them all, but some I like better than others. This one is really thick. It's got a lot of layers. We got the card base, the red is a layer, so that's 2. Then the strippy part, which is actually 2 layers already because it's glued to a cardstock, so that's 3, 4. Then you got the gold layer 5, the red layer 6, and the sentiment 7. So I did cut out some negative space behind a couple of those just to lighten up the card a little bit because it's pretty heavy. And I didn't use dimensionals on this one for the same reason because it was already getting pretty thick. But I used, again, all of scraps and previously cut sentiments and just various things. So there you have it. And here we've got this one. And I know there's a lot of glare. That gold really picks up the light, but I just think it's so pretty. This has been in my stash for a couple years, so I finally found a use for that. This, again, another one of my favorites. I just think they're all so pretty. I really think the gold and the pearl papers, and of course the gold vellum, they all just add a lot of extra interest that I really like. And the final one, and I used most of the gold dots on here. In fact, I only had 2 left over. I mean, I will probably find some on my desk somewhere down the road, so there's probably a couple more floating around somewhere, but I got the majority of them used up. And initially I was going to make these trees out of the strips, and I was actually going to form the tree with the strips, but I didn't like the way they looked, so I used a die to cut it out. And I still need to add my cardinal or something down here, but I think it's really pretty. I really like the way that one turned out too, and I wasn't sure I would because I really didn't love the trees. So there you go, 5 more cards for Project Christmas Cheer, and these will be going to Cards for Soldiers and the Angel Card Project, and I'll put links for their Facebook groups in the comments below. And really, I don't think I'll be getting any more cards out of, or sets of cards out of the scraps from week, what is it, 39, I think, something like that, 38 or 39, where we did all of these backgrounds and trimmed off all those edges. So I don't think I'll be doing, I don't think I have enough left to do a bunch more cards, so that's good because I'm getting a little tired of this particular theme. You probably are too. But anyway, I just want to thank y'all for joining me. If you have any questions, just ask. I'd love to hear what you think of these. They're some of my favorites, and I'm really surprised because when I got done gluing the strips down, I wasn't super happy. But by the time you get done adding all of your embellishments, they start to really come together, and the strips in the background, they really just kind of fade into the background. They're not nearly as noticeable. They're probably a little bit more noticeable on that one, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. So again, thank you for joining me. Thank you to my friend Bonnie, who sent me some samples of the Stampin' Up! Cardstock. I really do like it for a card base. It's nice cardstock for that. So again, if you have any questions, I'll quit saying that. Thanks for joining me. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and hopefully I'll get back on schedule. We're a little bit behind. We had some family emergency stuff to take care of, emergent, non-emergent, but needed to be done. Anyway, so we're back, and I've got some more ideas ready to go. So I hope you'll stay tuned, and I hope I see you next week. Thanks again.